From the top to the bottom, I'm the top I stop. At the core, I forgot. In the middle of my thoughts. Take it.
What's good, YouTube? Your boy 21 here, bringing you guys another episode of Dueling Network Duels. On today's episode, I will be using my new deck, which is Geargiamachina, a deck I just been testing out ever since I got myself these Geargia structure decks from the last tournament I went to. And so far, I've seen some good success of you guys about to see here. Like, just people just rage when you flip an armor on them on Dueling Network. It's ridiculous. Like, he has a reverse skill. I activated wiretap, and he's just gonna scoop right here, which is I thought kind of funny. I just had to add that in there. Next duel, I forgot what I played against, but I know I draw the auger, make the first turn auger into the accelerator, which is a very strong play. Now, you know, you guys are wondering, like, Chris, why aren't you playing gadgets? Why aren't you playing the deck you say you always play? Well, this is the reason why I'm not playing gadgets. I honestly just got tired of losing and got tired of winning because of luck. Like, I feel like at this point, ever since the release of Satellanites, Burning Abyss, and Shadows, gadgets, in order for us to win, we have to draw really, really good. Our opponent has to draw really, really bad. And if we win game 2 and 3, we just have to draw all of our outs. And honestly, winning like that is not going to happen consistently at a big tournament. And I have 2 tournaments coming up. I have another regionals coming up that I do want to make top 8 in, and I have an ART coming up. So I really want to play a different deck. You know, honestly, I'm just getting tired of the whole 10 goldfish special gadget search overlay attack. It's just mediocre when in comparison to when you got a deck that goes, oh, Deneb set forward, negate your card effect, call 100 back. Or if you have a deck that goes Shadow Fusion, set Shadow Mount. It's just, I needed something broken in my life, honestly, as stupid as that sounds. And I just want to try something different. So I built Geargia gadgets because it's similar to gadgets, but is more consistent because of Augur. Augur is one of the reasons why I built this deck, because Augur can search out Gear Frame. Augur makes first term X plays, and X can search out Ancient Gearbox, which searches out Augur, which pluses your hand up, which, as you guys can see right here, gives you enough fodder to span the field with Fortress. This deck whole goal is to abuse the Howler Fortress, because Fortress can beat over Window. Fortress can pretty much beat on the Satellanites. Granted, if they don't have a deep prison, and come next set new challengers going up against Cleforce. Obviously, I'll be running my time space trap holes in the deck, but Fortress will be pretty much going hand to hand with some of their monsters too, getting rid of their pendulum zone. So yeah, you guys see I won this game because I just had too much advantage and too much field. Next game, I'm playing up against Evilswarm, and I opened pretty good. It was the armor set 4. He's trying to summon his Evilswarm, whatever the fuck his name guy is. He attached to my armor, and I'm going to start trying to accelerate. Cause I did a lot of playtesting with this deck before I just do it. And originally I was just grabbing like the one guy that searches out, that tributes himself to get an armor back. And I'm like, you know, the whole deck goal is just flip armor, search accelerator, search. All the deck's goals is to make their plays off accelerators, which I found kind of stupid. But at the same time, it makes sense because you abuse your armor, search out accelerator as a special overlay. Now, the reason why I didn't special right here is because honestly, I probably played it. I wasn't thinking properly. Like I am still new with the deck, but I could have special and went X. But I was just thinking about, okay, I can just save my hand for next turn. And I'm like, I'm just gonna plus my hand up, search out Ancient Gearbox, search out another Augur, and swing with the Fortress. And this is where I make another misplay. He tried to deprison my X, and I'm like, I'll wiretap it, which I should have just let him deprison the X, because I figured, like, if he was to deprison the X, he'll try to deprison my Fortress. So I'm like, if I would have said the wiretap for the second deprison, figuring he had a second deprison, he would have had to get rid of Fortress through battle or something like that, and I could have just called the Haunted Fortress back and just beat face in. So yeah, I run Call of the Haunted, as you guys already know, once again, because deck card is just boss with Fortresses. Back in one of my old gadget decks I used to run, Machine and Gadgets, which gave him my first regional top 8. Call of the Haunted was a good card. And this guy's going to make 1-on-1, tries to take my play. I'm just going to make Gigant X, Surge, and he's just gonna scoop. Now going to the final game. This is the epic battle of the day. It is Geargia. Well, my deck obviously is Geargia. I'm gonna fight against E Dragons, and I haven't seen an E Dragon build in a long time. And this build was similar to the version that used to run all those. It's the Hieratics Geargia, the Hieratics Dragon build. So he's gonna run a trap that sends the Hieratics Dragons to the graveyard to try to fuel his E Dragon engine, which I thought was kind of shitty. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, okay, he's doing all this shenanigans. I'm like, oh fuck, I have an armor set, I have a deep prison, I have a chalice. Thought I had a good hand, and his hand was just that much better. He's gonna make the Star Eater, and you gotta see, and he has the dragon. He's gonna make another. He's gonna make Stardust. I'm like, so at this point, I'm like, okay, wow, I'm probably gonna lose, but I'm like, okay, I can challenge the Star Eater. He's probably gonna attack out deep prison, but that'll be too obvious. I'm like, I'll just deep prison Stardust to get Stardust out the way, and he's gonna attack my armor with his Star Eater. I was reading Star Eater because I thought Star Eater had the same effect as played as Armides, which basically negates effects. When Star Eater doesn't, Star Eater just protects himself from dying. So I'm going to use my armor effect to search out my, I believe, another armor or a arsenal. I kind of forgot what I did here. Also in this build that I'm playing right now, this was my first test copy. So the first few duels you saw was like the final model duels, where it's like I repolished the deck and I picked all the Hanas in, and the first few duels you saw was basically the finished copy. This duel was like the first copy when I started to run a deck. And the reason why I'm showing this guys this duel last is because honestly this duel was way better and way more epic than the last two duels. As you guys are gonna see, I'm gonna do a lot of plays. Like I said, I'm not an expert with the deck yet, so I'm pretty sure I misplayed a lot. And a lot of you Gear subscribers of mine probably gonna at least be blowing, saying this guy sucks, he doesn't know what he's doing. But trust me, guys, I'll learn the deck. It just takes time and effort. But this deck is fun. It's a breath of fresh air. It's different. It's similar to Gadgets, but different at the same time. So yeah, this is just gonna be my deck, honestly, and probably into the hero structure that come out. So I feel like honestly, once that deck is released, decks like Geargias is just gonna be like null and void because everything's gonna be able to run Dark Law and Shadow Mist, and it's insane because of Mass Change #2. So he's, like I said, he's fueling his graveyard with the heretic stuff, and at this point, I feel like I'm gonna lose. And I don't understand why he didn't just swing at me. He could have just did a bunch of damage. But he made the big eye play, which I thought was retarded. So he's gonna attack over me. I'm gonna use my armor to search out the one guy to get armor back face down, because I feel like that was the better play at the time. Well, that's not. I searched out Accelerator. I'm sorry. Kind of trying to remember this duel as I go by play because I just finished doing these duels maybe a few hours ago, but it's happened. So I'm gonna go armor Accelerator. I'm gonna make 101, taking his Star Eater at this point. I remember what I did now. So, and he's gonna use this little trap effect to fuel his graveyard for his Dragon Rulers. Now I haven't seen this build in a while with Dragon Rulers, and I don't know why he was. I guess he was just testing out, because I guess his theory was against Shadows something wouldn't be that bad. But then again, if you're playing Shadows, you can just drag and pop that trap, window, and it's gonna be pretty much GG. Especially if you have traps like her A Vanity's Infinite, which more than likely they will do. So yeah, that deck, honestly, the Heretic E-Dragon deck is not that good against the meta. But hey, it's Dueling Network. People play what the fuck they want to play. So like I said, I'm gonna make 101. I was debating on what can I do. I'm gonna take the Star Eater. I was thinking like, can I make Exoton Knight? That was my whole thing I was thinking about. And I'm like, nah, I can't make Exoton. So and Fortress is gonna come to the field, popping his big eye. Because Fortress is boss like that, destroying everything in sight. And at this point, it was like, okay, I wish I had called a Hana in this deck, because I can just call back Fortress and the B faces. Like, Fortress is just honestly a fortress to be reckoned with, if that long ass sentence retardedly makes sense to you guys. So he draws and draw anything, and this is where I start top deck. I top deck my first good trap, which is a bottomless, which is going to stop his next big push on that turn. Like, honestly, I thought he was going to bring out an E-Dragon, but he decided to wait so he can try to make a big push like he's going to do now. He's gonna try to bring out blue and then green. I banish the blue. He brings up the green. He's gonna run me over. I'm gonna take that young 300 like a boss. And I'm just sitting here like, damn, what am I gonna do? And top deck fortress, pass. And his dragon's gonna go back to his hand. So he's gonna send one to the graveyard, and his turn's gonna just put one back in it from the banish zone to the graveyard. And this is bringing back memories from like pretty much this time last year of dragon doing this crap. And it was so annoying. I hate the E-Dragon deck. Kind of remind me of the one with Dragon's Ravine where they're just dumping everything in the graveyard. And that was really super annoying. So yeah. At this point, I top deck a Gear Frame. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty good. I'm just gonna search out a cannon. Use cannon's effect to bring back the fortress from my graveyard. Like I said, this deck is all fortress control. I'm gonna use fortress to run over his Hieratic because his green dragon is going to return back to his hand, so there's really no point of attacking that when he could just bring it back out anyway, because that was going to be his big play. So right now I'm just figuring like, okay, if I top deck another monster, I can just overlay a Castell and return whatever he brings back to the deck. And he can't attack over a fortress because Gear Frame will protect the fortress. And also, if I top deck another monster, I can bring my second fortress and continue to beat him face up. Right now, I'm looking at a pretty good position. He brings out his green dragon in defense mode and his turn out, and I draw the warning like a boss. So I'm going to put Gear Frame in attack mode, run over the green dragon and attack him directly. And yes, I know I'm calling these dragons by colors instead of their actual names. And honestly, it's kind of hard to remember 1,001 Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So yeah, gonna warning the dragon, the green guy back, and he's gonna go for Redox. And I'm like, okay, whatever. All I have to do now is top deck a machine monster in this game because I can either make Draco Sack or I can make Harlan Draco. And at this point, top deck Augur, which was good enough to summon out my forces. I can't make Harlan Draco with Augur because of Augur's claws, but I can make Draco Sack, which is gonna allow me to get the game because I'm gonna bring out the Draco Sack. Some of the tokens, token pop the Redox, and that's going to be GG, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Have a good day. Deuces.